Hello and welcome to Connected. On this edition, Dual Olympian Julie McDonald chats about life after competitive swimming and what inspires her today. We look at the amazing US response to an Aussie music legend and ARIA Hall of Famer when Russell Morris joins us. Cast from the new Australian TV series We Were Tomorrow helped navigate us through the adult sci-fi. And musically, Steve Dorrington questions if time stood still. It's time to keep it local and get connected. Well, my first guest represented Australia at 2 Olympics and 2 Commonwealth Games, winning an Olympic bronze in 1988 and 2 gold and 2 silver medals at the 1986 and 1990 Commonwealth Games. But those achievements are just the tip of the iceberg, as even today, Julie McDonald still inspires Australians throughout the country to lead better lives, and she also still assists Olympic competitors cope with life in the limelight and the transitions after sport. And I'm pleased to say Julie joins us in the studio. How are you?
I'm very well. Yourself?
Great. And look, what an illustrious career. But out of all of the races you've done, is there one that is the favourite that sticks in your mind?
I guess it's a really fine line between the Pan Pacific Championships in Brisbane in 1987, when I performed in front of my home crowd and I beat the world record holder Janet Evans and broke the Commonwealth record, and the Olympics, of course, because it's the Olympics.
Yes.
And then to come away with a medal is just that much more special.
Of course, when you look at that, I mean, you held that record for quite a number of years, didn't you?
Yes, 21.
21 years.
Yeah, I was pretty proud. I'm pretty proud of that, actually. It's one of my proudest achievements to hold a Commonwealth record for that long.
It is amazing. And of course, it must have been disappointing when they finally broke it.
It was bittersweet because the girl who broke it was wearing one of those performance-enhancing suits and she beat it by 0.1.
Oh.
But now, our current athlete that's swimming at the moment in the 800 freestyle, she's going under 820 really easily now all the time. So, yeah, it definitely would have gone.
Now, of course, back in the heyday, you were part of the Laurie Lawrence team. What was it like being a core member of that team?
Laurie, whenever I talk to people, everyone's heard of Laurie Lawrence, and I just say, I can confirm he's a lunatic, and they all laugh. But he was the best lunatic for me. He was the guy that brought out the best in me. He was the one, without him, I wouldn't have been the athlete that I was. And, he was always up. Laurie never turned up training flat. He was always up, always wanting to get us up. And I think, I take my hat off to him to be able to do that day in, day out for all those years. He's an incredible man. And especially with some of the bigger races that you faced, you needed that someone there to really get you up to full speed. Oh, absolutely. In Seoul, we had, the East Germans. We were racing the East Germans, and we all know now that they were on performance-enhancing drugs. And when I finished my race, I waved to Laurie in the crowd, and England, Canada and West Germany and Canada all cheered back. And when I waved again, they all cheered again. Laurie had half the world cheering for me. So, how could I not do well? Yeah, it certainly was an amazing time. And of course, so many people really took you into their hearts, didn't they? Yeah, it's lovely, Back in the day when they used to send telegrams and
Yes.
herograms, and we kept all those. So I've got all those beautiful messages of support, and it was just so great to know that you could go overseas, but you still felt like your heart was still in Australia. Yeah. Another point in your life came where you needed a lot of support. You're a melanoma survivor, and what impact did that have on your life? Yeah, at the time there was a campaign on TV about do you have a mole that looks like this? And my partner at the time said, one of those moles looks like the mole on your back. And so I went and got it checked, and the doctor said, okay, we're going to remove 3. So we removed the 3 of them on the Wednesday. on the Monday he rang me and he said one of them's come back as a melanoma. Now this is back in '97. Not much was known about melanomas back then, and I just didn't understand. I said, what does that mean? So he said, well, we have to go to hospital and we have to remove more. So the next day I had a 10 o'clock appointment with a specialist, and he said if I can come back at 12, he'll operate at 1. So it was a mad rush, go home, come back and be and operated on by 1 o'clock.
You don't do things by halves, do you?
No. So it was, I think that was a good thing because I didn't have time to think about it.
Yes.
The scar on my back was quite significant and it has faded over time. But, you know, I'm a real advocate for people getting their skin checked, and on the first of the month, every month on Facebook, as you would know, I put up pinch it and punch, first of the month. Women get your breast checked, men check your
other areas,
and everyone get your skin checked. So it's an awareness thing.
Yeah. What event has made the biggest impact on Julie McDonald's life?
Oh, probably, I'd have to say the birth of my son.
Yeah.
You know, they really take a part of you, you know, a big part of you when you're born and you carry this baby around in your tummy for 9 and 10 months and then you give birth to something that's, you know, and it's perfect, 10 fingers, 10 toes, and, you know, you're so grateful for that you could do that. And then when they grow up into their own person, so my son's now 14 and he's taller than me. He likes to let me know that. And, you know, he's got a great heart. He is such a good kid and I'm so proud of that.
Yeah, just finally, what's next for you?
Well, now what I do is I basically try and inspire people to be the best that they can be. And so on my public Facebook page, if people want to find me, it's Julie McDonald, OAM. And I'm currently doing a Get Healthy campaign. So I'm sort of at probably the least fit I've been, and I'm on that journey now to help others get there and be fit again.
I'll join you on that journey, and that's a promise.
Okay.
Thanks so much for joining us on the program, Julie. It's been a pleasure.
It's great to see you, Damien.
And of course, you can get more information on Julie, and also being a guest speaker. Does a lot of that around Australia, maybe at your club or event. You can visit juliemcdonaldoam.com. Now, still to come, cast from the new Aussie TV series We Were Tomorrow. They'll be joining us on the couch. And Steve Dorrington, a Brisbane singer-songwriter, will be joining us as well. Stay with us. There's more to come on Connected. And welcome back to Connected. Aussie music legend Russell Morris is following up his recently announced ARIA Award nomination with a national tour. Now, this nomination is Russell's third in the category of Best Blues and Roots Album. And of course, he took out that award in 2013 with his acclaimed release, Sharkmouth. Music lovers, industry and critics alike have praised his latest release, Red Dirt, Red Heart, the third and final instalment of his Australiana trilogy. And I'm very pleased to say Russell joins us now via Skype. How are you, Russell?
I'm good, thanks.
Mate,
thanks, lovely to be with you. Thanks very much.
Yeah, mate, our pleasure. And of course, the last 5 years have been incredibly busy for you putting together this Australiana trilogy.
It has, yeah. It came together by accident. I never planned to do an Australiana trilogy. What I was doing was I decided to do a blues album because I wanted to go back to where I started, and because I'd released probably 5 albums and they'd all sunk without a trace. So I decided to do what I really started off doing, blues and rhythm and blues. So I wrote 5 songs and they seemed all right. I couldn't quite work out why I wasn't connected to them. And I travelled up to Sydney. I was in Sydney and reading the newspaper. There was a photograph from 1916 of a criminal called Thomas Archer, called Sharkmouth. And the photo was electrifying. It just grabbed me. And I took it home, sitting one Sunday afternoon, and it almost spoke to me. It said, write a song about me. So I wrote a song about Sharkmouth, and a light bulb went on in my head, and it said, no wonder these other songs didn't make any sense, because you're trying to ape John Lee Hooker, Robert Johnson, Howling Wolf. You're trying to sing about New Orleans, Mississippi. You're not American and you're not an Afro-American. So I thought, okay, I'll write about our blues. And I wrote that song, and that was the one that really sort of gelled it for me. And I then started writing songs, and they were everywhere. There's so many great stories in our tapestry of Australian history. So I thought, well, I should really do a trilogy. And that's how that began.
Well, mate, of course, you've, on the flip side, have turned it around in fact, just coming back from the States where you really wowed them with it, didn't you?
It was a lot of fun. I didn't know how they would really, it's like taking Coles to Newcastle. I didn't know how they'd accept, an Australian version of blues. And the good part about it is our country's a little bit similar. They were both settled, albeit we were settled by convicts.
Yes.
And I always point that out to them. But there are similarities, and they had the gangsters, we had the gangsters. They had the Depression, we had the Great Depression. They had the American Indians, and who was their land, and we had the Indigenous Australians, it was their land, So we've suffered a lot of the same problems and a lot of the same history.
Yeah, of course.
I just sort of included everything.
Yeah, second in the trilogy, Van Diemen's Land also kicked major goals too, didn't it?
Yes, that was top 10 and did very well. It's the biggest, highest charting album I've had in my career, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it really was just amazing how it sort of came about. And because I must say, Russell, it's been a 50-year career to date, and debuting at number 4 on the overall ARIA charts with this as well. Of course, the inspiration behind Red Dirt, Red Heart following on, what was that giving you as well?
Well, the first album was urban. It was about the back streets of Melbourne and Sydney. The second album was about the bigger picture of Australia, some Queensland stories, some of the stories that, like the World Wars that we were involved in, Breaker Morant, the unions, just a whole lot of other major stories. And then I couldn't do a history of Australia without including the outback and also including some Indigenous stories as well. So the third album, Red Dirt, Red Heart, is really about the Nullarbor and about that red heart of Australia, and some Indigenous heroes included on there, a couple of stories.
Yeah, and the sound is absolutely amazing. It really is, as you said, very different to what we know Russell Morris to do.
I guess so, but that you didn't hear me in my early days. That's what I was doing when I first started, and then I met Ian Meldrum, and he said, "We've got to go more commercial. We've got to go more commercial." So we went more commercial, and all of a sudden it was a major hit. And I thought, gee, I must have been wrong all these years. So I followed that road for a long time, and then that road sort of turned into a bumpy track, and then I completely lost my direction. And I thought, this is ridiculous. I'm just going to go back to doing what I started to do.
Yeah. What's been the highlight for you, mate, out of all of those 50 years?
The highlight was coming back after 30 years of no recognition in the charts or anything, and winning the ARIA for Sharkmouth. I think that was the highlight for me.
Yeah, it's they always say it's very hard to make a comeback, but to do that and take out the ARIA award, I mean, it says to the industry, I'm back with a vengeance.
Yeah, I was pretty happy about it, because I felt when they gave me the gold ARIA for the Hall of Fame, I thought it was like I was working for AMP and they'd given me a gold watch. They've said, now nick off and sit on a rocking chair and just don't bother us anymore. It almost felt like that. So I thought, I've got to do something. I have to feel a little bit qualified within myself. So I started working again.
Well, mate, thank goodness you didn't sit in that rocking chair, let me tell you. What's next for you? Mate, I know you're doing this tour around Australia at the moment, but what's next for you on the agenda?
Working on a few things for next year. I'm slowly writing. I've sort of got a rough idea. I'm not sure where I'm heading with that yet, but there's no hurry for me, and a couple of other projects that I'll be working on as well with some other people. Well,
mate, it's been a fantastic chat. We really appreciate you taking time to join us today.
I appreciate you for doing it. Thanks, because without the publicity, people don't know whether you'd be alive or dead. So thanks.
You're alive and kicking, mate. Thank you so much for joining us. And Red Dirt, Red Heart is now available and would make the perfect gift this Christmas. Make sure you grab your copy right now. For the full list of Russell's tour dates, visit russellmorris.com.au. We'll take a break on Connected, and up next, cast from the new Australian TV sci-fi series We Were Tomorrow joins us. And also, Brisbane singer-songwriter Steve Dorrington performs live in the studio. Stay with us. And welcome back to the program. A young adult sci-fi TV series has been recently filming in China, Thailand and several Queensland locales, including Ipswich, Rosewood and Grantchester. We Were Tomorrow by Mad Lane Productions follows the journey of twin siblings who are forced to navigate through 3 lifetimes to escape a dying world and an immortal hunter. Now, to give us a sneak preview, it is a pleasure to welcome cast members Madeline Kennedy, Amy Casey and also Alicia Bennett. Well, folks, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having us.
Madeline, first of all, I guess the big thing is that this started off as a feature film. What was the reason to moving it to the small screen?
So we started out in a feature film format, but when we finished it, because the story lent itself to be so flexible and can be expanded, we actually gained a lot of interest from US broadcasters to see if it could be actually done as a TV show. And so we rejigged it and continued out filming out as episodes, which
Fantastic.
is now where it's as a TV series.
Exactly. And I guess, Amy, you had some actors in mind, but did you do a big casting process for the rest?
The casting process was actually quite intimate. We reached out to quite a few actors that we had worked with previously in the industry, and they were pretty happy to come on board and support an Australian production like ours.
Which is nice, I mean, because we need more Australian production, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. And for you, Alicia, I guess this being a sci-fi, it really lends you to play something quite unique.
Yeah, absolutely, and the fact that there's 3 lifetimes, I guess for each of us, we change every single lifetime, and as an actor, it's a bit of a goldmine, I suppose. You get to explore and find new things, and it's so much fun, and I think we're really lucky that we get something like this.
It sounds as though you guys have a ball on location, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
We also suffer schizophrenia. There's like multiple personalities we have to deal with.
Who am I today?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. Now, Madeline, tell us a little bit about the storyline. I know it's a little bit confusing just to blurt it out quickly, but can you give us a summation on it?
Yeah, so basically the story now as a TV show starts with the modern world, and a moon gets destroyed by a meteor, which means that the Earth becomes uninhabitable, and a small group of people are chosen to offer salvation to. So they're taken to a parallel version of Earth to restart it, and that's where they're given the 3 lifetimes. But what happens is humans kind of repeat the same mistakes, and it becomes that the world starts to die. And so our generation are chosen to return back to Earth and escape to fix what's happened in both worlds.
I see. Now, Amy, you're playing one of these siblings, the twin
Yes.
siblings?
No, not a twin sibling.
No?
I play Sienna's sister.
There you go. So sister to our wonderful friend there on the end. What with this particular series, it seems to revolve a lot around family as well. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So obviously, you know, you've got that story plot going through, but also the much bigger storyline going through as well. Yeah?
Yeah, well, I think that family is a very big element of it, because it's not just about, it's very much about soulmates, and it's not just the family you're born into, but it's also soulmates can be your friends, can be your lovers, can be parents, anything like that. So it's really about redefining what we understand to be our soul's matches.
Yeah, yeah. Alicia, how does your character fit in?
So basically, I play Sienna, and she fits in as Evelyn's best friend, Roxy's sister, and my soulmate is Evelyn's twin brother, Noah.
Okay.
Yes.
So it is, I'm picking up on all of these names, but I guess it all becomes clear when you see the series.
Yeah, it's super intricate, and I remember when I first read the script as a film, I was asking Maddie all of these questions, and every time I got an answer, I was like, no, really? What is this? Hold on a second. Wait. This happened and this happened. And then, yeah, it's super intricate. And so I think I think that's why it's going to work better as a series, because it can start to open up and the questions can be answered, basically.
Yeah, and Madeline, it's nice when you can get that series because it does allow you the time to explore more the characters, the storyline and things like that. Is there rumours to be a second series, or...?
We're really, really fighting and hoping for that opportunity. Having the interest from the broadcaster, it comes with the potential to continue on as a second season. Obviously, it depends how the audiences respond to it, but we're hoping with the amazing talent that we do have. Obviously, Guyton Grantley plays an antagonist in it, and we also have Tessa James coming back to TV, and Nick Westaway and Bo Brady. So having all these faces that people recognise, I'm hoping it creates enough momentum that people want to see them in this new light.
Yeah, and of course you three lovely ladies in there as well, so we can't say more about watching the series like that. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. We wish you every success. Hope it's a roaring success, not just in international markets, but also right here in Australia, and a network needs to snap this show up fast.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you so much for joining us. And you can keep up to date with the series, photos and cast information. Visit them on their Facebook page, that is We Were Tomorrow, and you'll also find it on @WeWereTomorrow on Instagram. Steve Dorrington started training in guitar, voice and dance from the age of 4, and since then he has performed in Cats the Musical, Spamalot, The Sound of Music, and even got his kid off in the Full Monty. Well, he's collaborated with a whole heap of people, and I'm very pleased to say that he joins us right now on Connected to perform If Time Stood Still. Please welcome to Connected, Steve Dorrington.
If time stood still, would you savor this moment with me? Would you stay in my arms forever? And would we be?
Oh, we're clear? Cool, okay, we'll be able to get the ladies out then.
If time stood still, would you still find a reason to leave? Pack your life into a suitcase and drift like the breeze. But time never stayed still for anyone. Why would that change for me? But in this moment, forever we will be. If time stood still, could we start this all over again? Pick up all the broken pieces and maybe we'd mend. If time stood still, would we learn to forgive and forget? To let go of all our regrets if time stood still. But time never stayed still for anyone. Why would that change me? For in this moment, forever we will be. Time never stayed still for anyone. Why would that change for me? For in this moment, forever we will be.
Beautiful, isn't it? That is Steve Dorrington. You can check out the gig guide, recordings and other info for Steve on his website, stephendorrington.com. It's on your screen right now. Well, that just about wraps up this edition of Connected. Make sure you check out the latest guest info and special online segments on our website, connectedtv.com.au. And also, don't forget, you can also interact with us on our Facebook page. And we'd love to get your feedback on what you would like to see on the show, as well as also some comments on some of the guests that we have on the program. So it's a great way to interact with the show on our Facebook page, and that is simply Connected TV. Well, that just, as I said, wraps up the show. Until next time, make sure you stay connected. We have a big show for our season finale. It is coming up next week, so make sure you stick around for that. From the entire team, bye for now.